Greetings, one and all. Self-confidence and personal growth are two phrases that sound really nice, but there are more than two phrases that sound very nice. They're the cornerstone of every leader, no matter what kind of leader you are. Personally, I am an autocratic leader, and even as an autocratic leader, one rule is the same whether you're autocratic or not, and that is that you have to be what you are training others to be. You want to be a good leader, you don't have time to get your feelings hurt. You don't have time to get offended. In fact, if you want to help anyone, those things must never be in your purview. And that is the truth. Let me give you a little background about the medical industry. There are trauma centers, level 2 trauma centers, where you have hundreds of people employed by the hospital, and they all wear scrubs. They all wear hospital scrubs. You've seen them. Doctors wear scrubs, nurses wear scrubs, housekeepers wear scrubs. People who do laboratory results, they wear scrubs. Everybody wears scrubs. And sometimes it's difficult to tell the people apart. But see, they all have different color badges. And if they have different color badges, that is your key to help determine that you won't ask the doctor to scrub the floor, or you won't let the housekeeping perform open heart surgery, sort of like that. However, when the chips are down, when your back's against the wall in some place like the emergency room, it's pretty easy to confuse people. It just sort of happens. And if our tendency is to do things lackadaisical or to not pay a lot of attention, you can run into trouble a lot more often than not. Case number one. Young lady is an attending physician. Now, an attending physician has already been an intern. They've already been a resident. They've already been a first-year resident. They've done lots of things. And now when they work in a teaching hospital, like the one I just described, what they do is they make decisions. They don't have to ask anybody anything. In fact, people ask them things, and they know the answers because they are what? An attending physician. I'm sure you get that. So as an attending physician, this young lady cruised through the emergency room as someone called it, I need to see a patient, and somebody mistook her for somebody who was not an attending physician. Well, she did not pass go. She did not collect $200. She went right directly to Eagle, and she was highly offended. I mean, after all, she worked hard to become a doctor. She'd already been through those other steps. And how dare you treat me like I'm not an attending physician? Is it because I'm a woman? That may have been one of the things that were crossing her mind. But that's how she showed up. Now take this other guy. He's a black guy. He worked in a hospital in Texas. He worked in ICU. In ICU, sometimes they have to go to the emergency room as well. Now this guy was a nurse to beat the band. When it was time to start IVs and nobody else could start the IV, they'd go and get this guy. It was time to put a tube down somebody's nose, they'd go and get this guy. Some patient was doing really horrible, they would go and get this guy because this guy was the one. Well, he had the opportunity to go down to the emergency room one day.
What'd you say?
I went to the Dollar Tree, like what's family to family eyes.
Mhm.
Everyone, please mute your phone.
2 eyes open with people with carts all the way down that aisle.
Jeremiah, please mute your Zoom. We can hear
Okay.
your
So
conversation.
they can hear you. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem.
So there he was, right? He's an ICU nurse. And sometimes he has to go down to the emergency department to pick up patients who the emergency people, they just saved the patient, got him stabilized. They're going to take the patient upstairs to the ICU. So this guy, this black male registered nurse in the state of Texas, right? He's going down to the emergency department, and right as he walked in, they had just got done taking care of a really severe case. So the place was a mess, right? And the ward secretary was waiting patiently for the housekeeper to come down and clean up the room so they can get the next customer, the next patient, what have you. So in walked this guy. I don't know if you know any guys like this or have any idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, this guy walks in, and she kind of goes, without even listening to me, housekeeping. This guy's a registered nurse. He's the dude, right? But he had some training, so he doesn't respond negatively. He just did him. And maybe 1.8 seconds later, some kind of how, She looked at him and some way, shape, form, or fashion, something about his demeanor, something about the way he looked, or something, I don't really know what it was, but it occurred to her, oh no, this guy is not from housekeeping. I don't know where he's from, but I bet my bottom dollar he's not from housekeeping. In fact, he might even be the guy in charge of the hospital. That's what she thought when she saw him, and she was right. The guy was not housekeeping. He was a registered nurse, and he'd come down and get a patient. So you got two cases there. One person showed up one way, another person showed up a different way. However you see yourself in your mind and your heart is what other people are going to see. However you feel about you, if you feel that you're all that and a bag of chips, well, when you walk in, they're going to see a Lay's potato chip and a Coca-Cola, right? On the other hand, if you think, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to manage that? I hope they don't find out. That's exactly what they're going to see when you walk in. You want to be a leader. You want to eliminate the sort of demeanor that'll have somebody see you as less than what you are. You got to make self-confidence and personal growth the rule of the day. You must never find yourself being offended. You must never find yourself getting your feelings hurt. And you can do that. You can do that by deciding who you are long before these situations arise and carrying yourself as who you are, whether you're on the job or not. Just make it a lifestyle to walk around thinking to yourself, I'm all that. To walk around thinking to yourself, I rock. To walk around thinking to yourself, they just can't wait to hear the next word that comes out of my mouth. Now, you might get a little criticism from here and there, but you won't get the criticism for being less than what you are. I can guarantee you that. So if you want to expound in this arena of self-confidence and personal growth, take the high road when it seems to you that someone's trying to diss you, when it seems to you that someone is trying to disrespect you, when it seems to you that someone is being a bigot of any kind, fight the urge to have your feelings hurt. Take the high road and you will be better for it. Madam Toastmaster.